All right. There we go. Now.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. This is Danny.
And Wanda.
From Deep South Homestead, along with our quirks. When we get ready to do something, we realize our camera was not working.
Neither one of us paid any attention.
We did not pay any attention. We were sitting there looking at a black screen.
And getting ready to talk.
We were talking. We sit here for 5 minutes waiting for the live stream to start, and it was just black,
Hey,
and we should have known better.
We're just...
it's one of them days.
Brilliant. Today we're eating soup. And I do not know if I can get it where it'll show you, but this is vegetable soup, and it's made with turkey. And
yep.
Guys, I did, we processed the turkeys last week.
Give it just a minute. Get into it before. Let's get the people in here before you start doing that.
Oh, well, you want to talk about it? Go.
Yeah.
We got Deborah.
We got everybody. Yeah.
Florida, and Becky, and Joe, and Red Duchess.
Deborah says the sun is shining. It ain't shining here. We're fixing to get some horrible rain.
We're fixing to get a lot of rain.
Yeah, we're fixing to get a lot of rain. We're hoping we're going to be able to just live stream because it's getting pretty rough outside. It's clouding up pretty bad.
Yeah, it's cloudy.
The rain is already past due.
Yeah, so we know we're going to have it.
Okay.
Now, you want to talk about this? He made me wait.
I made her wait. We are actually, I can turn mine up because mine won't dump out. Mm-hmm. We are eating soup. Wanda cooked turkey soup with all kinds of vegetables in it from the turkey that we butchered on the property here the other day.
And it has the broth from the turkey. When I made my broth, and we'll show you that in a few minutes, I made broth and canned it yesterday. I took the meat, and I only canned broth, and I took the little bit of meat, and I made this soup. So the broth, the soup, and then we put carrots, potatoes, green beans, onions, peppers, and garlic.
Everything but the kitchen sink.
But it all was from here. Every bit of it.
Everything from here. And then we have, some people call these corn cakes. Some people call them hoe cakes. But Wanda made these fritters. But Wanda made these with squash. Mm-hmm. She took squash and cornmeal and made these things, like little cornbreads, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, really good. Now. Yeah. If you want to see a picture of it, hang on here just a minute.
That's the picture of the...
Talk about it.
This is what I cooked a couple of nights ago. We had processed the turkeys, and so I took out some of the breast meat. We put the breast in separate packages so that Danny sliced it off the bone. I tenderized it by using my, what's it called, a mallet. Mm-hmm. I tenderized all the breast. I coated it in pecan meal. And then I cooked it in some of our lard that we had. I only put a little bit of lard, just kind of browned it and cooked it and let it, put a lid on it and let it make sure it's seared through. The, like you said, the fritters, the hoe cakes, the corn muffins, whatever you want to call it. It's like a small cornbread pancake. I put onions and squash in with my cornbread recipe, and I fried it. And then the greens came from our garden. They're mustard.
Broadleaf mustard.
Yeah. And so that was one of the best meals. And that piece of meat, the turkey, was one of our 7-month-old turkeys. And it was so tender. We were really, really saying, hey, this is good.
It turned out good. And we have Wanda, from after all of this, she actually done a bunch of canning yesterday. Mm-hmm. And this is what she came up with. This is your broth, right?
Yes, 7 jars. Those were the first 7, and I did 4 more after that. So 11 jars of turkey broth altogether. So
okay,
that was it. So guys, you see, we eat a lot from Deep South. 90% of our stuff that I cook is from Deep South.
Most all of it is.
Mainly we have to have additives. That's why with the grocery haul we were talking about, let me go back to the beginning. When I said grocery haul, oh, I forgot, y'all. This is what we went and did for a grocery haul. So that doesn't look like a whole lot to most people. But to us, it is.
To us, that's a big deal. That was $63 worth of stuff.
Yeah, $60. And I'm like, We didn't buy that much.
We didn't buy that. We could put it
We
all in
didn't
3,
buy-
4 little bags.
And we didn't buy anything that we could eat exactly.
No, there was nothing there. Not one thing there was a meal.
No, but I'm going to show you some of the things we bought and why we bought them. We do some crazy things that are not, I guess you would say, homesteader wise. Exactly. But everybody has their vices and everybody does things that are different from everybody else. But we eat soup and we eat our veggies 99% of the time.
99% of the time. I mean.
So, one thing, butter. We bought 4 pounds of butter.
Yeah.
The unsalted butter. This will go into the fridge. I can either cook out of it or I can go ahead and can it because I still have canned butter. We're not out of butter, but every time we go in and I have a little extra money, this is what I do. So the butter was one of our purchases so that we have it. And it goes, we're replacing a stash, I guess you would say.
Yeah, what we do, this is once a month for us. This is what we go buy once a month. This is our once a month grocery run for us.
We've kind of cut out the coconut oil for now.
Now, I kept messing with my heart for some strange reason. I mean, my heart was getting a lot worse using coconut oil. I think there was not enough fat in my system. It was what it was doing.
And somebody asked what the butter cost. The butter was $3.24, something like that, or $3.28.
Yeah.
Not really sure exactly, but something similar.
Well, you could get 2 pounds of butter in a 2-pound pack was $6.24. I remember that specifically.
So it was $3.28, I think, because you weren't saving very much. You were saving just.
We figured just a few pennies to buy them together. We didn't worry about it.
Yeah. Hey, Brenda. So the butter is something that we have canned. I keep some fresh so that I can just, if I need it right quick, it's in the fridge. We keep some in the freezer. So I keep a supply of butter usually. Not out, just keeping it going. Almond milk. We do not use regular milk right now.
No.
When we have our own cows.
When we got our own cows and our goats start coming, we will use our own milk.
Yeah. But for now, the almond milk is a shelf life milk. I don't use that much milk anyway. One of those will last me sometimes close to 2 weeks. So that's not much milk.
It doesn't have to be refrigerated.
Not until it's open.
Not until it's open, right.
Yeah. So in my shelf, I try to keep a bunch of these in the shelf. And so when we go, I buy 4 to 6 at a time and just move all the older ones to the front and put these in the back. And I always, always, always check the dates.
Yeah.
Because last time they were August of 2019. These are September of 2019. And I want to make sure that they're further out than what I already have.
I noticed in the comments right here, I really like this. In the comments there, I'm looking at, Denise Nash says, it's odd that you would say that about oil. My husband isn't able to tolerate it as well with his heart condition. Jan just said, I switched back to olive oil for the same exact reason.
See, that's crazy.
See, people, this thing of coconut oil being the miracle stuff being pushed on us, because all I've used for several years now has been coconut oil.
About 2 years.
About 2 years, and I noticed my heart condition kept getting a little worse and a little worse.
And we took away every food we thought imaginable. I mean, he was down to eating almost nothing. The one thing we left was the coconut oil.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, one day I said about 2 months ago or 3, when we did the lard, I said, let's try the lard. So and mainly what he does, he uses it in his
I just use it to cook eggs with in the morning. That's the only time I use it.
But I was using it in his baking. Instead of butter, lots of times I would use coconut oil. And so I took the coconut oil out of the baking and I went to putting butter back in. We cooked the eggs in the lard. The meat that I fried was in the lard. I've just put like 2 tablespoons of lard in a pan and just pan fried it real light. It's not deep fried. I don't deep fry anything.
We don't deep fry anything.
And he's been able to handle the lard the whole time. We've not had any issues. The butter that I've added back into his stuff he seems to have no issues. So when we have our goats producing our own butter, he should be able to handle that. We'll have our own milk, so we won't have to buy this shelf life milk anymore. And hopefully we'll have our own cheese, because I'm going to make cheese. I'm into this cheese and butter thing, guys. And so that's what we're usually doing. Okay, the next thing is salt. Everybody needs a huge supply of salt, and Daddy and I have, how many bags did you buy? 4?
I bought 200 pounds of salt.
Yeah. And is it iodized or no?
No.
Just regular salt?
It's just regular salt. In case SHTF happens, or a life-changing event, should I say. And we have to start salting down meat. We have to start salting things. We need salt to eat, all these kind of things. This salt can be used for either purpose. So
yeah. So this was our everyday salt. The bags that we have stashed are in case salt that we can use every day if we need to.
Yeah, Steve, we didn't buy any jars today. As a matter of fact, we probably, the only jars that we really are in need of now are pint jars. We do not need any more quarts.
Yeah, we're
about where we need to be on quarts. The biggest thing now is we're going to begin purchasing lids for them. That's our next big purchase for them. Let's see. Let me read some of these comments here. So life after it falls apart says, my cholesterol went up after eating coconut oil. I was on a vegetarian diet, by the way. Made no sense, but that was the problem. Their cholesterol went up from the coconut oil.
So that's weird.
One says, Noel says, I use coconut oil and have heart palpitations. I wonder if it makes them worse. It does mine. Now I'm not saying that yours is, but it does make mine worse.
Mama Tried says, I don't know how y'all live without fried chicken. Now, I love fried chicken.
Oh, I love fried chicken now, but I can't have the flour put on the crust.
Yeah, Popeyes is my go-to. Most people know that I love Popeyes chicken. I can take it spicy. I can take it regular. I just love Popeyes. But if I want to go somewhere and get something, I guess it would be Popeyes. But the deal is we don't fry chicken anymore. We bake everything. And like I said, with the turkey, we fried that, but it was like seared, pan fried. It wasn't deep fried. And when the chickens are done, our big meat birds, we're going to take the breast of those and fry them like I did with the other. And it's pecan coated. Y'all, it is just awesome. It makes you not really want fried chicken when you have it that way. It takes the place of it. So,
okay.
Paula says she has congestive heart failure, but excellent cholesterol. I don't touch hydrogenated oils. Thank you.
Yeah.
Crisco. It is all lard, all natural fats. The cardiologist said that was why the numbers were so good.
Yeah.
See, sometimes it's just that some things that are really, really good for you, sometimes that you overdo.
Well,
moderation.
Let me tell you something. My daddy is 80. He's between 86 and 88. That's all I know. He's somewhere in that area. My daddy, when I was a kid, every day that I know, and I can remember, my daddy ate salt pork. Mm-hmm. Mama would put it in the water and she would boil it, and then she would take it out and she'd fry it. And my daddy ate that, I guess, every day.
For many, many years anyway.
For most of his life that I remember. My daddy is 80-something years old, and if his legs would work, he would be in perfect health, because right now he can't hardly get any kind of health care because his organs are perfect. Everything about him just works. And and he worked hard now, don't get me wrong. He was a hard laboring kind of man, sweated like a dog. He always looked at me and he said, son, that pork is not going to hurt you. Your body needs that natural fat. That salt that you're worried about, your body needs a lot of it. My dad has no problems whatsoever with any of that stuff. He told me, he said, the doctors are pulling us off of stuff that our bodies need. And I'm almost come to that conclusion. I really am.
A lot of times it's fads. You've got one diet after another, and everybody's jumping on right now it's the keto diet.
Yeah.
Okay, or I don't even know if I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
Keto or Kiko's the goat.
Yeah, Kiko's the goat. Yeah.
Whatever. You're jumping on a diet. If you know anything about diets, go back and look at every one of them. They have their pros and their cons.
Jeremy, yes, it does matter if salt is iodized or non-iodized. If you're going to be canning, you do not want iodized salt. It will leave an aftertaste in your food.
You want non-iodized.
You want non-iodized. But now, if you're cooking to eat, your body needs iodine. And salt that has iodine added to it and is naturally iodized like that is very healthy for you. A lot of people today are having thyroid issues because of low amounts of iodine that's in our foods now.
Because the doctors say you don't need iodine.
Yeah, it's another one of those things. We need more iodine than we're getting.
Yeah. How do you get up and do what you do every day with your health issues?
Well,
he hurts, but he was in an accident when he was 18 years old. So he's hurt all his life.
I've hurt my whole life. Pain is a psychological thing.
You know, until he gets to the point he can't stand it. Now, I've seen him in pain to the point he can't stand it.
Yeah, I've been in pain to the point I can't stand it with a kidney stone attack and then usually
the
gallbladder, stuff like that I've had.
The kidney stone the other morning was getting there.
Yeah, the kidney stone the other morning was getting there. It didn't ever make it, but it was getting there. You know,
and that pain's leveled off.
It's leveled off some. I still hurt, but it's not as bad. Janet says, I canned 2 cases of lard and ate the cracklings. Hey, we do the same thing. Ms. Wanda's been making crackling cornbread with the cracklings left over from ours. And you know what? It's good. It's real good. Now, you know, we talk about heart issues. I'm sitting here now. My heart's missing beats. But that's not uncommon for me.
Well, actually, what the doctor said.
It's actually adding a beat.
Danny says it misses a beat. It doesn't actually miss it. Where if it's going bump, 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 his goes bump, 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 bump. His adds an extra beat actually. Yeah. Then he says missing. To him, it's missing, but it's not. It's adding.
And every so often, mine just stops.
Yeah.
And when it does, I just start going. You'll see my head drop down. I start going out of consciousness. And it's because my heart's just come to a complete stop and it's not pumping any blood. And then all of a sudden it just like starts back up real quick. And I come back to, but I'm usually really sweating a lot after that and everything. But that's life. You know what?
Malcolm says you don't need to put it in your salt. You need to take a pill. That's a doctor's way of looking at it. Yeah. Instead of eating what is good for you, don't eat anything that's good for you. And let me give you a pill for all the problems you have because you're not eating right. That's basically what it boils down to. Okay, another thing we bought today was sugar. This is pure cane sugar. This will go in Danny's cookies. I was thinking it was brown sugar, but when I looked at it when I got home, it's a cane sugar. It's a natural cane sugar, 100% non-GMO. Made from sugar cane that has not been processed with anything as far as chemicals and stuff like that. So that's what will go in his cookies. I have to buy sugar, and I have big bags of sugar, but I usually use brown sugar in his cookies. And when I found this was as cheap as the brown sugar, and it was made from cane syrup, and it was non-GMO, no chemicals, all that good stuff. So
Christy says, my heart does that and flutters also. Jan said, or at Virginia Gibson said that they had a heart attack and found out they wasn't getting enough salt, so they had to add more salt.
I've been telling Danny he needs just to eat what he wants to and be done with it. Because, I mean, we've tried everything. We have been taking food away from him for nearly 3 years, probably, or 4.
Yeah.
Right at 4. Pretty close to 4 years. He stops and stops and stops and stops, and he never adds anything back in. He just quits stuff. And so recently I've got him to add a few things in just to see. We've added 2 or 3 things in, and that comes to one of our This right here. I had rice checks and almond bark candy. He likes me to dip the rice bark, melt the rice bark, dip the I can't even say it, rice in it.
Rice checks.
And make Danny candy for Christmas.
Yeah, it's let's see. Pamela says my son has the same heart issues, but when he works out, it beats normal. That's kind of funny. When I went in with my heart messing up really bad, they put me on a treadmill and they ran my heart rate up to 250 beats a minute, I was running like a scalded ape on that thing. And when my heart rate got up really high and fast like that, they told me my heart was perfect. It's only when I slow down and I relax, like sitting here now, that my heart actually begins to mess up. As long as I'm working hard, my heart usually just keeps right on Cadillacing.
Yeah, a lot of people say that's the sugar they've been using. And Homestead Homemaker says they make their own brown sugar using it and molasses. See, I would probably...
So they make it with Zucca and
molasses. Yeah, but what I'm saying, I would use the Zucca and the cane syrup and just make my own brown sugar for his cookies. And Saddle Ridge says, don't we make our own from the cane?
We can.
Make syrup. We don't.
We make syrup. Sugar. We don't make our sugar, but if we had to, we could.
Process.
It's just a little bit longer process.
We don't want to do it unless we have to.
Yeah.
Have we ever tried the monk fruit instead of sugar?
Yeah.
Maybe last year or the year before.
That's what Paul brought us.
Mm-hmm. We tried growing that, and it just did not grow here. We had the seed to grow, and they said it took a year or so, and as far as we know, it never came up, right? You haven't noticed where you put it?
It never came up, no.
Yeah, I will make my own brown sugar as far as for his cookies and stuff like that, which I could use the regular sugar. The recipe calls for regular sugar. I just changed it to brown. Now, see, little goat.
Yes, it does can well.
Goat Feathers said they purchased the same butter yesterday, but it was only $2.39. Wow. See, that's a whole $1 cheaper than what we're paying. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was $1 cheaper than what we paid. That's what I was fixing to say, yeah.
So it's all in where you're at, I'm guessing, or what Walmart wants to charge. Yeah. Hey, fritter makers.
Hey, Amanda, I just seen you pop in there, girl.
If you buy store-bought white sugar, smell those bags. They found out lots are contaminated and stink like sour or somebody threw up. Wow. They ship in non-clean trucks. The deal is sometimes if you do that, a rat could come across those bags or something, is what I'm thinking they're talking about. We ordered some 25-pound bags, and they were shipped in plastic.
Yeah.
They put them in plastic bags. They were, and so far I haven't had any that smells funny.
No, we haven't had any yet.
I wouldn't be wanting to use it if I did.
That's one reason we order our sugar. Yeah.
One of the things that I got, bagels. I just like bagels every now and then for breakfast, and so I splurge on occasion. We are human, by the way. And one of the last things was packaging. This was in with our grocery stash. I had to have some boxes and some envelopes, and Danny likes those soft washcloths, so they had 2 on the shelf, and I bought those. And
that's the only 2 Walmart had.
Yeah, in that color. They have different colors. And
we don't use anything white. I hate white.
Yeah, and then I needed the 2 little jars to put stuff in. I bought a couple of things that wasn't on there was my coffee creamer. It was in one of the pictures, and I forgot about it.
Hey, Patrick.
And I bought a can of sweetened condensed milk and the Pam spray or whatever for when I make some things. I have to spray the pan. I try using oil like coconut oil or pecan oil or something for the pans, and some things will still stick, and so I've learned to use Pam on a few things. So that was our grocery haul for $60-something.
$60-something, yeah.
Hey, Mr. Rain.
Yep, and Denise says, do I remember the root beer extract? As a matter of fact, yes, I do.
I have some in the refrigerator.
Matter of fact, we have some in the refrigerator. She thought about it by adding a drop or two to our water for a little something extra.
Yes, I bought some last year, and it does make a good drink, a root beer drink. It doesn't have the fizz of a root beer, but it makes a root beer Kool-Aid. And I bought it because that was something my mom used to keep on hand all the time, and you know, that's what we did.
Did she get some Cherokee pumpkin seeds from you?
Yes. When I sent her stuff, yes.
Okay, so good. Heidi, I think you and Patrick will really enjoy those Cherokee tan pumpkins because I'm going to tell you, they're the most awesome thing that's right here behind us, right there. Those will be with us forever if we can keep it that way.
Yeah.
Do you think it could be circulation? Maybe oxygen isn't processed as well when you're not moving.
Probably.
It's possible because my whole life I have lived on the edge. That's how they put it. You know,
and the doctor says that's what's wrong with his heart. He's always used to going.
I'm going
strong.
90 to nothing. I've lived on the edge. I always wanted to be right in the heat of everything. I mean, I was just one of those kind that if there was a mission that someone said that nobody would do, I was the one who would do it. You know, so it's too risky or it's too dangerous or whatever. I'm the guy who would say, you know what, I'll do it. And I'm the one who took off and done it.
And Denise is saying she grew up on Watkins. See, I remember Watkins.
Oh, I remember Watkins.
And so they have a Watkins in one of the, was it Piggly Wiggly?
Yeah.
I think Piggly Wiggly carries Watkins now. And I have to stop and look at all the flavors there. Let me catch this right quick and bring dessert.
Now, Ms. Wanda is going to catch a phone. I am expecting a phone call.
That was not it.
That was not it? Okay. I'm expecting a phone call. They're supposed to be delivering my wood splitter in a crate sometime this afternoon. I got to drive like a quarter of a mile up the road up here to pick it up because they can't get an 18-wheeler down in here where I'm at. And I have to put it together myself. This will be our second wood splitter. The first one I bought from Lowe's operated about 15 minutes and it blew the pump all to pieces on it. Started spraying oil everywhere. So we sent that back and I refused to buy another one of those brands from Lowe's. So I went to Home Depot and I actually ordered a Champion log splitter, and it come in a crate, so I got to put it together myself, which I'm a little bit more comfortable with something that I put together than I am with something that a company puts together.
You're not quite through?
Well, yeah, I guess I will be, because what I'm looking at looks a lot better.
Y'all, I am fixing, today I'm canning again, trying to get my freezer down. That's why I did all the turkey bones and made the broth so I could get that out of there. And today I'm making huckleberry jelly. And I don't know if they can see it.
I don't know if you can see that. We got huckleberry, what do you call this?
It's like a dump cake. You put your butter in the bottom, your huckleberries with some sugar on them, sprinkle it on them on top, and then you mix up your cake-like substance and pour on top of that. So, and then I added whipped topping.
I don't want to let these get behind me. Saddle Ridge says, Danny, I couldn't find the genus for Cherokee tan, so it's hard to tell about cross-pollination. Saddle Ridge, Cherokee tan was almost extinct. They almost ceased to exist. My seeds came from a gentleman who got them from the Cherokee Nation. And I have done my best to get them things all over the United States to get this genus of them started back. Now, I can't tell you whether they're Cucurbita pepo or what's the other one? I forgot the other one.
Starts with a C.
I know it. Anyway, I can't tell you which one. There's 3 Cucurbitas there. I cannot tell you which one it is. I'm pretty sure it's the same one as the Seminole pumpkin is, because I do in my heart believe that the Seminole and the Cherokee tan are cousins, even though the Seminole is different. It looks a lot like it, but it doesn't taste like it. It doesn't grow like it. But I do believe they're in the same family. So I think summer squash and winter squash, which a pumpkin falls into that same category. I think they're probably not going to cross-pollinate, but even me, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. And we did do a test. We had somebody send us one of each, and we tested them, and they were different. And everybody that grew both said there was a difference in both of them. Mr. John that sent us the Cherokee Tan also planted the Seminole this year.
Mm-hmm.
He said there was a big difference in both of them. And he ended up, after it was all said and done, close to 150 or more Cherokee Tans, and almost that many are right around there of the Seminoles. So he grew a lot of those pumpkins, both of them this year, and he said there is a difference.
Mama tried Homestead, wasn't it? Yeah, how far apart should veggies be planted to save seeds if they're of the same family? We keep ours at least 100 yards apart. We try to go further than that, but at least 100 yards.
Rain Country wants to know, should she be concerned about butternut and Cherokee grown together?
That's possible.
Because they're kind of similar.
They're a lot similar.
Even though they're different shapes, they are a lot similar.
I did have what was believed to be the genus name of the Cherokee Tan. I have it wrote down. I just don't know what it is off the top of my head. It was Cucurbita something. But even the person who sent it said they weren't 100% sure.
Yeah.
The Cherokee Tan is probably, I mean, these pumpkins were picked when? In August or September?
One of the two.
These were picked in August or September, and they'll last all year. If you take care of them and put them in the right environment,
yeah,
they will last all year.
I don't lose something, but
yeah.
You have to pick, make sure the stem,
the longer the stem, the longer the pumpkin lasts. If you cut that stem off down here, that pumpkin won't last no time.
Yeah, we had one that had a short stem because of the way the thing was done, and we already had to eat it because this part just popped off one day. You need it as long as you can, and check them every so often. Make sure you have nothing down here that's going bad. Feel of them to make sure they're still firm. If they feel a little spongy anywhere, go ahead and eat it. Don't just leave it sitting somewhere hoping that it'll last forever, and that's probably going to fall.
And don't don't keep them in a house that's too hot. Our house where these are at here, this room stays about 65 degrees and colder.
And the dining room does too.
And the dining room stays about 65 degrees and colder. So you don't want to put them in anything over 65 degrees. Because if you do, the life expectancy is not very long. It's the same thing with a winter squash or anything else. You just want to make sure that they're not too warm. You want to keep them as cool as possible.
Dolly says she gave 2 spaghetti squash. I was wondering what ways I can use them. Oh, she was given 2 spaghetti squash.
Yeah.
Mainly what I would do is I would slice them in half. I think you turn them upside down in a shallow pan and put just a little water in the bottom and then bake them in the oven. And when you take it out, you can use it like you do spaghetti. You can pour pasta sauces of any kind you want, cheese sauces, any type of meat sauce, whatever, butter. If you just wanted to sit and eat it with butter.
Sugar, brown sugar, it doesn't matter.
You could add sugar and make it sweet. Syrup. You could turn it into a sweetness. You could turn it into a meal.
Jennifer says, whoa, that's cold. Jennifer, let me say something. I'm not trying to, y'all don't take me wrong on this. Growing up, houses were never kept warmer than that.
She probably knows that too.
And today, everybody wants to keep their house where they can run around in a pair of short pants and a short sleeve shirt in them in the house and be comfortable in the dead of winter. We don't do that.
I mean, I'm running around in short
We have a
sleeve,
short
but
sleeve
it's
here today, but it's because
hot.
it's 65 degrees outside today.
Mhm. But if you keep your house 70 to 80 degrees
That's too hot.
in the winter,
That's too hot.
that's why people get sick.
That's why people get sick.
They go outside,
yeah,
and their body has to adjust right quick, and then they go back into a building, and they have to adjust right quick, and your body doesn't know what temperature it's supposed to be because it's going back and forth.
Yeah.
And if you keep your house, I mean, we had this person when I was doing apartments, when I was the office manager. This lady called complaining about her heat in the middle of the winter. She said, my heat's out, you got to come fix it. Well, we knew she was in an apartment that was surrounded by other apartments on each side, plus above her and behind her. So she was kind of in the middle. And we knew her apartment would not cool off. She had just called and it said it went out. So we knew it wouldn't cool off for, several hours. And an hour later, she calls again and says, we are freezing to death in this house. You've got to come fix it. And we said, well, the guy's out on a run. He'll be there sometime today. And so one of my office ladies went around there later after the third time she called to see if it was something that she could just do a reset button or something, because lots of times it was just simply a reset. She goes around there. The woman's running around in short shorts and a tank top. The kid is running around in a diaper. And she was throwing a fit because it was cold and it was still 70 degrees in that apartment. And she said, lady, y'all can put some clothes on. And she tried the reset. It worked. And she walked out.
Yeah, I mean, it's, Azaleen says, yes, it's cheaper to put on a sweater than to turn the heat up and pay for it.
Exactly.
I think that we try to, as Americans, let me say this, as modern day Americans, we want our life to be so comfortable that we live in a perfect environment. In the summertime, we leave our thermostat set on 70 something. In the wintertime, we leave it set on 70 something. And we want to try to never ever stay out of that comfort zone. But our bodies are designed to stay with the climates that they're in. And we try to destroy that. Like in the summertime, we stay under such heavy air conditioning that we can't take the heat anymore. In the wintertime,
that's where we're at.
We keep our house so hot we can't take the cold. We all stay sniffly and everything like that. And growing up, we didn't have a choice. The houses were so airish until you're lucky if they stayed 60-something degrees.
Only in certain rooms with the heat. It's actually raining outside, guys. So if we lose you.
Yeah, if we lose you, don't think anything about it. My daughter Jennifer says, what kind of lids and rings do you use?
We don't need any more rings.
We don't want any more rings. Matter of fact, let me show you something here. Miss Wanda, she did this. This was a joke, really. But,
it was. Just because.
Oh, there we go. You
Look
see
at
this? This is a garbage bag.
It's a 5-pound, like a 5-pound bag, plastic bag.
Big,
one of those
5-gallon.
5-gallon plastic
bag. Well, this is just one. We've got like 5 of these things.
Yeah, with 5 or 6. But I laid it on the table and the rings started falling out. And I just thought it was a funny picture because, hey, it just is.
But anyway, to answer that question.
I don't know if I
we only use.
Did I show them, or was I doing something different?
No, that's
okay. That's what it looks like, the rings, and we have. This is a 5-gallon bag.
Yeah.
And it is packed just as full. It was falling out on the table.
That's one of about 4 of them.
4 bags that we have like this. We don't need any more rings. We just need flats.
We need flats and lids.
We just collecting flats now.
Yeah. So we only use ball or cur. That's the only 2. The gold lids we will not use except for when we make jelly. We will put them on the jelly jars, but we will not put anything else. We will not put the gold lids on any kind of food we eat other than jelly because they will not hold up for long periods of time.
Yeah, and see, some people said they didn't see it. I hit the wrong button, but I did put it up later, so you should see it. Yeah, we have rings, and for the first gathering, I made little pumpkins out of the rings. And I think I gave 2 or 3 of them away. I only made 4 or 5. And I don't know, if I had some kind of craft that was quick and easy that I could make out of those rings, I could make a good living for a while.
Yeah.
Because we have so many of them. Actually rings, you probably only need, say, 8 or 10 dozen. And really, you probably don't need that many. because you're not going to be canning more than 24 or 48 jars at a time. If you were in a big canning spree, I could see canning back to back. You might can, say, 48,
Yeah.
but you don't need a whole bunch of rings.
No, you don't need. Well, looking at all the comments there, most people say they leave their house at 65. They stay healthier if they do that. Asleen says, I have one thermostat that heats the entire place. We have no thermostats in our house. We have no electric heat.
Mm-mm.
We only have our wood heater. Our wood heater heats my house is 2,300 square feet. We depend on it to heat the whole 2,300 square feet. Let's see. Lou's Northern Home says, if you want to save money on your canning supplies, go to Dollar General and buy them when they have the $5 off of a $25 purchase.
That's a good
There is
idea.
a craft for rings.
I know, I looked, and a lot of them are really difficult. Not really difficult, but something I don't want to put that much time in.
Yeah.
Dolly says she can't wait for the gathering. The gathering is going to be March 9th, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it was the 11th last year. The 11th kept popping in my head, but March the 9th here in Wiggins, Mississippi. We are all getting pretty excited. We're working on things and getting things done.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, and guys, it's going to be pretty awesome. We're going to have Roots and Refuge. We're going to have other YouTube channels coming. We're trying to get all of them to let us know who's going to be there for sure, so that we can kind of have a running list. I do know that Stringfield Ridge, Leah is going to be showing how to do flint rocks. I done forgot flint napping.
Flint napping.
Okay. I do know we have that. I'm not sure, people haven't let us know yet exactly if they want booths, what they're doing, but we kind of need to know before the end of January. So anybody that wants to set up a table or for their channel, or if you don't even have a channel, you want to sell something, please let us know so we can kind of get that going.
Yeah.
Christy says she can't stand going in most stores and restaurants in the summer. Yeah, it's usually too cold.
Yeah, we do that. We go into the grocery stores.
You about freeze in Piggly Wiggly.
You walk in that front door and that air, just that fan kicks on the air, blows into your face, and you're all hot. It almost makes you pass out sometimes.
Yeah.
Amanda says, I can't wait to get back. The gathering will be a blast.
Yes.
It will be what we make it.
Yeah, and it's going to be fun. We're going to have fun regardless. I'm going to try and chill with everybody instead of running around. I got people helping this time.
So
Danny's got people helping.
We got people helping out this time, so maybe, just maybe, I'll get to say hey to every one of y'all if you come.
Instead of trying to be the boss. It's hard not being the boss, isn't it?
Not for me. I've been a boss my whole life.
You like being the boss.
I don't want to be a boss no more.
All right, cards. This is from Deborah at Edgefield, South Carolina. Let's see where it's at. I got to figure it out. There we go. Deborah from South Carolina. This one is from Northern Ohio Homestead. Okay, and they sent some tomato seeds from M.I. Gardner with it.
Okay, cool.
Ace 55 tomato seeds.
Nice.
And then last, this one is from Rachel in Arlington, Texas. And it's not exactly a Christmas card, but she sent it because she was sending something else. And so I wanted to mention her too, even though it's not a Christmas card, it is a card.
Okay, let's see here. Let's get back to the Jamie, which is with Mark, decided yesterday she wants a booth at the gathering. So you have to contact Ms. Wanda about that.
Okay, that sounds great. Jamie has some awesome stuff, y'all.
She does.
She makes stuff out of alpaca. And she dyes some of the stuff. She makes hats. She made a dress. She modeled the dress and the hat here on the Saturday before the gathering last year. I don't know how many people saw her, but I took pictures, and I think there was still quite a few people around that got to see her work. And so she does some amazing work.
Heidi says, no more Mr. Bossy Pants. Nope. When you spend all of your life being a boss, and you finally come to a point you just don't want to do it no more. You look around and you start doing what they call delegating. You look back and you go, you can do this and you can do that. I'm slipping in the back, out of the way. Y'all take this ball game and you run with it, you know.
We're learning.
Last year I had to carry the whole gathering by myself.
As far as
speakers and stuff and keeping everything going. And then I messed around and got sick during it, and I didn't like it. So this year, I'll still tote some of the load, but I mean, I'm not going to do like I did last year. I'm not going to sit there and bust my tail for all those hours in a row and not eat. And
yeah, we managed to have several people that are going to fill in and do things and give Danny time to sit around and just.
I never hardly got to visit with anybody at the last gathering. I got to talk to a few people, but I never got to really visit with anybody. And that was my whole purpose for having the gathering, was to get to.
Yeah, for us to visit.
For us to visit with y'all, and I messed around and spent my whole time up on the stage. I didn't get a chance to talk to nobody hardly. So
we're rearranging that, and we're going to have people helping out, and it's going to be pretty awesome.
The Jason Homestead said, we took down our old chicken coop to use the wood for pigs, learning to use what we have. And that is, my friend, the mentality of a true homesteader.
That's what Danny's doing on the barn. He's fixing to take down a lot of the corral system that we have around where he just put the addition, and he's going to be using it on the inside of the addition in order to not have to buy so much. That's one way of redoing, because we don't need the boards where they're at now.
Yeah. Amanda says, that's not happening this year. We're packing you a lunchbox, mister. Well, I tell you what, sweetheart, you take care of me. That's all you need to do. You just take care of me.
Get him some food.
You just give me some food. You just make sure I get fed, and we'll be doing just fine.
And your daughter said, and you were bossy.
I probably was.
I can imagine.
I probably was.
I'm pretty sure.
It's
Jen, he was very bossy, right?
It's in my nature. I can't help it. I mean,
they want to know who's on my shirt.
Oh, who's on your shirt?
Jeff Bates.
Jeff Bates.
My Mississippi.
Yeah.
Jeff Bates was he still is a singer.
Yeah.
He's not gone anywhere. He's still a singer. Back 15 years or better ago.
Yeah.
Maybe. He was really popular on the country music scene. He sang the song called My Mississippi, and he was actually from my hometown. My uncle, my daddy's brother, taught Jeff how to play the guitar when he was younger, and my cousin played with Jeff all the time. And then I don't remember him because he was 2 years younger than me, but they said he was at our family things all the time, and he was a heavy-set little kid. And I don't remember it because, when you're older, you don't remember younger people, but my sister remembered it because he was her age.
Yeah.
So he became kind of popular for a short while.
Yeah. Amy Fuel says, it's hard to have fun when you host an event. It is, because in the back of your mind, everything's sitting there turning, and you're trying to make sure everything goes off like clockwork. This person doesn't run over on that person's time, and you're constantly, your mind never shuts down. And when you have nothing to eat all day, then it gets to be kind of tough, especially when you're like me and you're supposed to have protein every 2 hours put into your system. At some point, you're going to crash.
Yeah. And I was spazzing over foods and gifts and trying to get the giveaways done. This year, we have somebody over the seed table. We have somebody over the auctions, somebody over the giveaways. The food will be brought in, and somebody will handle all that. We won't even deal with the food. So all these things are going to kind of go away. We have Daryl from Two Families going to be dealing with the internet part of it, trying to keep where our viewers that can't make it can see what's going on, and we hope to have that done a little different from last year, and we pray that it don't rain.
It stormed last year. I mean,
last year was horrible.
Like a tornado come through. I mean, it was bad, but we still pulled it off, and it was okay. And Amy's right. Amy's right. She says, enjoy yourself this year. Everything will still happen one way or the other. And
exactly.
And it will. It really will.
Gothic sugar. What we're asking, we have a Facebook page called Deep South Homestead Gathering Place, and if you go over to, if you do Facebook, just go over, join that page, the Gathering Place, and just I think Sherry has a document on people that are coming or something. But anyway, you can just put on there that you're planning on coming. We are not charging anything to come. There will be auctions and raffles to pay for the building.
Yeah.
If you want to spend money on food or if you want to spend money on crafts and stuff that people have set up there, that's your option. And Deep South will have a few things there. I don't know exactly what right now because our options go up on Etsy and so it changes. But right now I am making huckleberry jelly, and then I've got some blackberry jelly. Hopefully, if I don't sell out of those before March, then they will be there.
Yeah.
It was my goal to make these for the March gathering.
Sutter Ridge says, I just have a thing for guys with beards.
I'm gonna have to give Teresa a hug. That's just too funny.
That's just too funny. Okay. Heidi says she has no desire to host an event anymore because that's what she did.
Yeah, her ballet performances.
Her ballet performances, and you said Patrick did the video and all in them, and so I'm with you. I'm with you, Heidi. I mean, I still will do things, but and yes, somebody asked the time frame. Who was it? Jason? Somebody.
Jason Homestead.
Yeah, it's on March the 9th. I didn't want to let that slip by me.
Yeah. I've been talking to Jason Homestead on Facebook a little bit.
Good.
The last couple of days. I think it was to deal with the chicken plucker. If I'm not, they can remind me, but I think it had to do with it. They were asking about building one, and I told them you said it would be easier to just
go buy it.
Go buy it.
Go buy it. I'll tell you right now, don't even try. Not the kind I build anyway. Because I can tell you, if you go order the Whiz Bang book on building chicken pluckers and chicken scalders, honestly, when I tell you this is in the book, it's in there. It will tell you to hit your finger with a hammer and drop a board on your foot and mash your fingers and all that kind of stuff. Then you'll be in the right frame of mind to put them fingers in that chicken plucker. And they were not lying. It took me all day to put 5 or 6 of them in the first day.
And he was hot.
And I was fit to be tied. Yeah.
All bent out of shape.
I was bent out of shape, yes. It wasn't yoga. Let's see.
Connie says it's
Zachlin,
10 in the morning, 7 degrees. Ooh.
Oh, Zachlin says, I haven't trimmed my fruit trees yet, but I think I will save the trimming for kindling from now on and can propagate some of them to grow and resell at the farmer's market. That's one of the better things to do. And if you have if you got apple trees and stuff and it's big enough trimmings, you can actually use them in a smoker if you need to, because sure don't buy this wood out of the store to smoke with.
Yeah, and Danny is doing the blueberry trimming.
Blueberry trimming video should be coming up pretty shortly.
What did you say ours were trying to bloom? Or bloom?
We have, yes, our blueberries are blooming.
And that's one reason he did not do the trimming earlier, because we kept such warm weather for so long.
Yeah.
He was so afraid they would start doing something weird. If he trimmed them off, they'd start growing and then it would die back. So now we hope this cool spell coming up will kill it enough that he can trim them back and then they'll be good to go.
Amanda says, fit to be tied. Laugh out loud. Yes, I have been fit to be tied before. My mama used to say, son, do you have fever with those fits?
He probably needed a spanking with those fits.
Oh, I got whoopings. I didn't get spankings. I got whoopings. Noelle says, I could listen to you guys talk all day. You are very uplifting. And I want to thank you for that comment.
Yeah.
We try to be as uplifting as we can. We try to be as positive as we can, because as soon as I turn this camera off, I'm going to cry. No.
No, I'm going to go make jelly.
She's going to go make jelly, and I'm going to go get her in the shed and get wet and cold and everything else is going on outside.
There was something that crossed my mind, then it went out.
That's what happens when you get older.
Don't those crazy bushes know it's December? No. And our pear trees were blooming a couple of weeks ago.
The pear trees had blooms on them.
Had blooms
they got
everywhere.
green leaves on them right now, new green leaves.
The fig trees, up until the last freeze, had small figs all over them, and we've never had figs. And a couple of them, about 4 or 5, got ripe before the freeze. So this is November when we were still picking figs off of a tree. That was just crazy.
Jennifer, we go live a lot of times on Thursdays for dinner, and we go live every Saturday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And Okie Rob says, Zone 7, now is the time to take your scion wood for grafting. Don't wait till it gets too cold and get some cold damage. Yes. I agree with Rob. I'll take it one step farther. When I gather my scion wood, I try to cut pieces at least 12 inches long, and I like for them to be a little bit larger in diameter than a pencil, because that way they have enough sugars and carbohydrates left in the wood to help it to get a real good start in the spring whenever you put it on. And I think, okay, Rob may agree with that. I hope he does anyway.
Jan says her quince has buds on it.
Well, Broussard said his apples have blossoms.
Wow.
That's what I'm telling you. Everything is screwed up. It's been in the 20s here. This is something that I haven't figured out yet. We've had several mornings of heavy frost. The temperature has been in the mid-20s to the high 20s, and my bell pepper plants are still pretty green.
I know, they haven't.
Have you noticed that?
They're gorgeous.
They're gorgeous.
Not covered.
They're not covered. Nothing. They're just sticking out there. And I don't get that. Our whole house is like, it looks like it snowed. It's so white with frost everywhere. And those peppers are just standing there.
Linda's wanting to know, yes, we are having another gathering March the 9th next year here in Wiggins. Where did you get apple trees?
Where do you get apple trees? Well, we bought our original ones from Walmart.
That's the only place to get them around here.
And from that point on, all I do is I just, I'll go dig up a crab apple that's growing in the woods, and I will graft off of my trees that I know are producing apples here, and I graft onto the crab apple stock for my new trees I have coming on.
Do you want cheese with that wine? I don't know who he's talking
Zachlin, yeah, he could probably be talking to us, but I mean, you want some cheese to go along with that wine?
I don't know.
I used to say that all the time, especially if somebody on a crew was whining about something.
Are you whining about something?
It's possible.
Your thing's going off.
Well, that says it's 1 o'clock.
How do you store the scion wood?
I'll tell you what I do, Lady Fortune, Fortuna, how do you say that? What I do is I take my scion wood, once I cut it square on both ends, and I use Elmer's glue. I just take Elmer's glue and put on each end of it, and I let it completely dry. And then after I get about 6 or 7 of them in a bundle, I put a rubber band around them, and I will wrap them up in paper towels, and I will just moisten the paper towels, and I'll put them inside a Ziploc bag and store them in the bottom drawer of the refrigerator in the vegetable drawer until I'm ready to use them.
And usually they do pretty good.
And they've always done fine. I mean, as a matter of fact, with apples, I have like 100% success rate with apples.
Yeah, we have one tree that's a golden Dorset.
Yeah.
And it has Anna and...
I have an Anna, an Ein Shamir, and the golden Dorset's all
on the same tree.
All the same tree.
And they have so far still grow every year. That we've had them. This is the second year. So next year we're hoping that it makes some blooms and an apple or something.
We're hoping. It actually had a little apple in it this year, but it, I think it got knocked off in a windstorm.
A slightly damp paper towel, Rob.
Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah.
So that's what they're saying.
But I do cover the ends of my scion wood up with Elmer's glue. You can use wax or whatever, but I just use Elmer's glue. Mm-hmm. It keeps them from dehydrating from the ends. And
somebody said something about it was a good turkey video. Thank you.
They must be a patron then.
I can't remember who. I just saw.
Of course, they could have been. They could have just viewed it before we changed it.
Yeah, y'all. I am learning this stuff. I'm sorry. I had issues with Patreon already, not knowing what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's all a learning experience for us because we're not.
We're trying.
Yeah.
So we're figuring it out. This month on Patreon, we will have 4 videos, even though we are a week behind.
Even though we got started a week late, we'll add the 4th one in.
We will have the 4th one somewhere in there.
Just to help show our patrons that we care.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anybody that wants to join us on Patreon will be patreon.com/deepsouthhomestead.
You know what? Let's throw something funny in here right now.
Uh-oh.
You know what this is?
Yeah.
I'm going to show you what Ms. Wanda does, okay? We'll see if y'all know what this is. Y'all know what that is?
Well, let's see how long it takes.
See how long it takes somebody to figure out that.
Seen it on Facebook. I did.
They could have.
Let's see.
Does anybody have a clue what that is?
I did throw it on something. I don't remember. Facebook or Instagram. Yep. Maybe both.
Okay. Take a good, hard, long look at it, and Ms. Wanda will tell you in just a minute what that is if you cannot figure it out. Denise says she gave her husband Patreon for Christmas gift, and he loved the turkey video.
Good.
Thank you. Okay.
S'mores.
Yes.
It was I was sitting here yesterday, and it was kind of cool, and Danny had made a fire in the wood heater, and I was sitting here going, I would just love to have a s'more. I was thinking about it over open flame and all this stuff, and I'm looking at the wood heater, and I go, how come nobody makes s'mores on the wood heater? Yep. And I said, I have rainbow marshmallows. I bought the rainbow marshmallows when Fritter Makers was here for Sunshine to have a marshmallow occasionally. Yeah. And I still had some left. And I went and I had the, how do you say it? How do you say that?
Ghirardelli.
Something. Anyway,
yeah, the Ghirardelli chocolate. Yeah.
That may not be it, but ever how you say it.
That's how I say it. That's all that matters to me.
Sea salt caramel, and it was the intense dark chocolate. And so I did an adult, I must say, an adult s'mores. It was with this intense chocolate, sea salt,
it looks
caramel,
delicious.
And a rainbow.
It smelled delicious. I'm sitting here in the house, and she's got the wood heater going. And the s'mores are tinfoil sitting on top of it, and the marshmallows are melting and running out of it, and all the caramelized stuff.
Like,
I'm looking at her like, knowing I can't have this, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, that's just so wrong.
It was awesome though. So guys, if you have a wood heater, make your s'mores inside. Why wait till you have a fire outside? Because most of you don't build fires outside if you're like us. We have them only occasionally. I hadn't tried a candy corn s'more, but that would be good.
Oh,
thank you, Activate.
Giving her more ideas.
I might have to try that. I may have to see if I can do that.
Jan says she puts peanut butter on her s'mores.
You could.
You could.
I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah. It's just like anything else.
Peanut butter and chocolate.
Peanut butter and chocolate, yeah. Man. You have Amanda.
You can have a pecan cookie.
Yeah, Amanda, I have to. You know what? I still have some of your little pecan pies,
you
Amanda.
Have 2 or 3.
I got 2 or 3 of them left, Amanda. I'm saving them just so I can have just a little touch of you left along through my life as I go through my life. And I'm about to run out. And when I do, it'll be over.
Good idea, Firefly. I was thinking a big thing of hot chocolate with the marshmallows and the peppermint stick stuck in it and all this.
Yeah.
And then I thought that would be chocolate overload at 9 o'clock at night.
Of course, she does play jokes on people who come here. She'll give them hot chocolate to drink, and she'll give them a peppermint spoon to stir it with, and they start stirring, and they look down, their spoon's gone.
Yes, that was a gift from somebody a couple of years ago. I'd never seen the peppermint spoons. They're kind of like Danny makes the wooden spoons, only they're peppermint, and they're a little short. And when you put them in your hot chocolate, as you stir, they melt. And when you pick it up, half your spoon's gone. Yeah. And it puts peppermint into your chocolate.
Oh, Heidi says, I have a gluten-free graham cracker recipe.
I had to check it out.
We got to check that out.
I did see she have it, but I done forgot.
But she ain't made it for me, though. I mean,
I could make it.
I don't know if you would, though. I mean, would you?
No.
I didn't think you would. No. It never hurt to ask.
See, if I make her graham crackers, then you can't have the marshmallow, and you can't have the chocolate, so your s'more is going to be a graham cracker.
So I just get a graham cracker. I don't get nothing in between it, okay? Oh, man. Help me, Amanda. You got to save me from this one. I got to come up with some kind of s'more.
We could make a marshmallow out of the pig fat once we butcher the pigs. That's what it's made out of, isn't it?
Yeah, it's made out of pork. Yeah.
Is it pork fat or beef fat?
Pork fat. Beef fat turns yellow. Pork fat turns snow white.
Okay, so if we butcher the pigs, I've seen a recipe on making homemade marshmallows.
Good.
And I think I saved it somewhere.
Oh, it's Asleen says they do make gluten-free marshmallows.
Yeah, they probably do.
Well, if they have gluten-free marshmallows, then I can have a marshmallow.
Then I can find it.
We're going to have to go on Amazon to follow.
I have the carob bits. I can do those for the chocolate.
We put the white chocolate in it.
I could do the almond bark.
You can do the almond bark.
Hey,
yeah.
What flour brand is preferred? Flour brand? Right now I'm trying to switch him. He's been doing almond flour.
Yeah.
And I probably will continue with it, but we're going to cut
sleepy
back.
Sitting here.
Because I think he's getting too much almond flour. So I'm switching him over right now to, what is it, Ancient Grains?
See, Amanda says she used vegan marshmallows.
Huh. Okay, so we'll have to see. But I'm trying to, I'm using an Ancient Grains flour right now.
Yeah.
I've also used Bob's Red Mill, just baking blend.
Yeah.
It's a blend of rices and maybe bean flour. I can't remember what all's in it, but it's a blend. So see, we don't have a Trader Joe's here.
No, we don't have a Trader Joe's.
I'm pretty sure Walmart probably don't have it.
No, we live in the deep south. We're in the most unhealthy place in the world.
I mean, $3 and something for butter I thought was pretty decent, but they're all getting it for $2 something. So we're really getting ripped off here.
Yeah.
I don't know what. Andrea says she got her an air fryer, so she's going to try the canned potatoes in it.
Like we do. They're really good. They really are.
Yeah. If you'll take your potatoes and drain them and kind of get most of the moisture off, and what I do lots of times is I take some kind of oil and sprinkle over it and flip them in the oil and salt them while you're doing it.
He showed up.
And when you do that, put them in the air fryer every couple of minutes. Shake them around and move them, and you will enjoy it. He said, Big Bear says they use almond flour.
And they love it.
Yes,
we use almond. That's all we use.
That's all he's been using.
That's all I've been using for several years. The only problem is almonds are very high in oxalates, and they're giving me kidney stones, so we're having to start backing off.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling y'all. Even though it's a good thing, too much of a good thing can cause other problems. So that's what we're having issues for.
Tammy's Dirty Boots in Country Life says, do you have a recipe for squash fritters?
Yes. I used about a cup of cornmeal, salt. Well, my cornmeal is not a mix.
No, we don't buy the cornmeal mix.
It's just corn ground up.
It's just ground up corn.
So you have to add your salt and your baking powder, which would be maybe half a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of baking powder. And you mix all that up. And I usually add about a teaspoon of sugar to it. And get it all mixed up. I add 1 egg. Let me think. I don't know on milk. I pour milk a little along till I get it to the consistency I want. So I'm not sure if I can help you there with the milk. But I would say anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 cup, maybe a little bit more milk. I just know I don't want it soupy. And then I add onions. And I use canned squash. So I drain the canned squash and get the water out of it. I don't mash it, but I just drain it. And then I dump it over in there and mix it all together. That's why I can't tell you with the milk. I usually add the squash, mix all that up, and then add milk afterward to get it to the consistency I want. And then I just spoon it and drop it in the grease and cook it. It's very, very easy.
There you go. If you got all that, if you didn't,
Heidi has a homemade marshmallow recipe.
But you got to have a stand mixer to do it.
I don't have one.
It's going to take a long time, she said.
Well, I'm not taking a long time.
Anything that makes Wanda have to work very hard, she's not going to do it.
You know that's it.
I'm just going to be honest with you. She loses patience very quickly. If she doesn't see her results in the first 15 seconds, it's over.
I'm going to be making jelly, and it takes a little longer than that. A little bit longer. That's why I use the steamer, y'all. It cuts my time. I don't have to
She
use
don't have to do
jelly
nothing.
bags.
She just puts the stuff in there with the water underneath it, turns it on, walks away, comes back in a little while, opens the tube up, drains the juice out, and throws the rest of it away.
Yes, Big Bear, we have him on some oils.
Yeah, they're oiling me up.
He just ain't exactly happy.
I'm waiting on my new oil to come in from my kidney, though.
Yeah, we've got one coming in that we're hoping will help. He's got the lemon. He does the lemon off and on. I rubbed him down with some stuff yesterday. At least the restless leg helped, right?
Yeah, my legs quit kicking the fool out of everything around me.
We used Balance to start with on the legs a couple of days ago. Then I got the Aroma Touch in, and we used Aroma Touch last night, and that seemed to lessen the restless leg syndrome. So anybody interested in Aroma Touch, let me know. Okie Rob says he's looking at I can't say that.
Hyalanthus.
Neruri. I don't even know what that is.
Neruri for kidney stones, called kidney crusher plant. We have a plant growing here. We call it a mimosa weed. Some people call it
yeah, they say it's good for
They say it's good for kidney stones too.
I could go collect some of that and make you a tea. Probably the turkeys have eaten everyone we have when I say that.
Look up organic apple cider vinegar. It should help prevent the issues with stones.
Yes.
Wintergreen helps, Big Bear said. He said several of the people.
Grandma's garden, or Gma's garden. Wanda, I've gotten to the same way the older I get, and the more I hurt, the less I desire to do anything, especially work.
Well, work is a 4-letter word. You have to be careful about how you use it in the presence of some people.
Yes. And I don't mind work. That's not it.
I don't either. I'll lay down right beside it all day. I'm not scared of it.
I work, and I work hard, but I like to minimize the time I do things. And I guess that's what it is. When I find a way to perfect something, like making the jelly. Now, if I have to use jelly bags and stuff, and you got to sit there and let it cool, and you got to squeeze all that out, and it makes a mess, and you've got all this extra to do. Since Miss B Lady sent me this juicer, I put everything in there, run the juicer for an hour. I have perfect juice. I'm ready to make jelly. When we get through here, my juice is perfect. I'll be through in an hour, hour and a half with a couple of batches of jelly. Where if I was doing the jelly bag, it would take me all morning just to squeeze everything out and get it all done. Because I'm making at least 2, if not, I know 2 batches probably.
Noelle says, could you do some essential oil videos?
I'm going to be doing some things over on Crazy Days. So if you're not subscribed to Crazy Days, go over and subscribe. I'm not going to be just sitting talking about oils, but as we use them sometimes, like on our live streams, we'll talk about what we're doing. And over there, I've done a couple of videos showing something that we're using over there.
Idaho Safari says, is there something about homesteading that causes kidney stones? Because Story Hilder has them too. Now, if you notice, most of those people who have trouble with kidney stones, I think, are tall. We're just very active people. We dehydrate. Our bodies dehydrate a lot faster, and when they dehydrate, then that a lot of times, my kidney stones specifically, they say it comes from just dehydration.
And 2, eating certain
plus
foods.
Eating things that's high in oxalates and not mixing the ratio of calcium and the oxalates and all that stuff in the right ratio. There's a balance there. And I'm not, guys, I just eat sometimes.
He eats only the certain things because he backed off, like I said, he backed off eating almost everything. So basically what we're eating now, he's eating from our place. Yeah. And I'm getting to gradually add a little bit back in from different places, but just to see if it helps. So he was not getting the balance sometimes he needs because he wasn't eating enough of some things and too much of other things. Like the almond flour, he was eating quite a bit of that in his biscuits and stuff, like the coconut oil. Things like that, he was getting too much of that, so we're balancing it now. Yeah. And he actually feels better most days.
I do. I feel better most days. I mean, I hurt all the time. My right kidney hurts forever. It's never stopped hurting. But you learn that pain is a lot in your head, and you just learn to, you just do it. You just keep going. you know.
Denise said the oil that we sent to her for headaches and back pain was a miracle. And then Jan was asked of which one. I believe it was lavender and peppermint mixed, if I'm not mistaken. Denise, did we write on there what it was so you could tell? I just can't remember for sure because I sent out several things. Okay, so are we ready so I can go? It's like 1:17.
Holy moly. Yeah, we got to get off here. I got to get busy.
So guys, our just to kind of recap, our grocery haul is mainly things that we buy to add back in. I know a lot of people do grocery hauls.
What is Danny's candy?
That was your checks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we
so most of our grocery haul when we go is to replace things that we have in storage.
Yeah.
We do not go grocery shopping like everybody else. We have our own meat now. We have our own vegetables.
Yes.
We mainly have to buy the things that we need to add in and special things. And it being Christmas, I'm making Danny some candy. And
I finally get some sweet to eat.
I will make it off and on if it don't kill you.
Well, it did kill me last time, but it sure made me feel good for a little while.
Yeah. He likes this kind of stuff. It's just I got to work him back into it, make sure it doesn't bother him before we continue having it all the time.
Yes.
Because once he gets something, then he wants it all the time, and then it's too much.
Then I overindulge in it.
Yes. So we're trying to do things in moderation. I'm trying to teach him moderation.
That's what the Bible says, you know. Everything's to be done in moderation.
And that's where there's a fine line between all that. And people, if you like chocolate candy and you sit and eat chocolate candy all day long and that's all you ever eat, you're going to have a problem somewhere along the line.
That's the reason the Bible says when Jesus was a small kid, he learned to eat butter and honey. He learned to choose the good and refuse the evil. Because too much of either will make you sick. And he learned as a small kid everything in moderation. A lot of people say that drinking's wrong. The Bible has nothing in it nowhere that says that drinking's wrong. It says excessive use of it is wrong.
Yeah.
But it says strong drink and strong liquor is for those that are of heavy heart and those that are about to die. So everything has a purpose and everything in its right place is okay.
Yes. And Denise said it was a mixture of peppermint and lavender.
Yep, I saw that. Okay, guys, I got to get off of here. I got to go to work while Miss Wanda
makes jelly.
Makes jelly.
See you guys Saturday night. Thanks, Mom.